Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm for Classic and welcome to BenchART. So today we are here to take a look on the performance of the Eurotruck 2 update 1.50. So Eurotruck 2 have been running like for 1,000 years and their support have been incredible, and they have now new greatest additions like a new anti-aliasing, which in the past we used to have SMAA and now we have TAA. So we have improved smooth cascade shadows, which the transitions seems much more smoother between stages. We also have the inclusion of soft particles for the game and for improvements. This is the examples of where improvements that you can see. And for the smoke particles, what happens really is that there is light shadow smoke and soft particles. So uh, I mean, smoke and particles derived by the smoke can now receive shadows and sun, which makes the things much more realistic. Also, another improvement is for shadows. So shadows are drawn to a much more distance, as you can see in the tunnel. This is the greatest example. At the end of the tunnel, it was supposed to be dark, and with far shadows on, it is actually dark. So shadowing regions are drawn at a much more distance. Obviously, all these changes impacts performance. The game it is still using DirectX 11, but as far as I know, they are planning to add Vulkan to the game, or DX12. I'm not really sure which of them they will be using, but I will probably guess that it is Vulkan, probably mostly because of a Steam Deck. And this is my recommended settings for you to play the game. So basically, I do recommend you to use the TAA unless you really hate TAA, and you have many forms of sharpening for the TAA. They offer you three possibilities: the adaptive clarity, which they say that it's useful when you play with resolutions under than 1080p or Steam Deck, and if you play at 1080p on a PC or something like that, just use always softs. I decided to go with adaptive clarity because it kind of chooses the best one, and when the camera is static, it just disables it to make it smoother. As for my recommended settings, I just applied ultra settings. I reduced the scaling to 150%. The scaling is basically super sampling until aliasing. It is incredibly demanding, and with the default ultra presets and the scaling at 400%, it was pretty easy to get drops under 60 frames per second. Well, to be honest, it was running lower than 60 frames per second, like 50 or something. We don't really need that brutality of 400% of resolution scaling unless you really have the graphic card to power it up, which should be very easily nowadays. But I mean, we are sporting in here GTX 1650 Super, so it's not really an overkill GPU, and it actually have issues with running with those 400%. Now, at first I decided to go with 200%, and it actually solved my issues. I have made some trips, and I never had frame rates lower than 60 frames per second, but that depends a lot on the time of day, if it is raining or not. For example, during this little roll over here, with 200% I was already having 57, 56 frames per second. So that's why I decided to reduce to 150%, and by using 150%, as you can see, even while recording, the performance is well above 60 frames per second. Okay, so this is clearly my recommended settings. The game it is also using the entire 4 GB of VRAM buffer, but I didn't sense any issues with the frame times because of that or any big performance drops, so everything it was silky smooth, and you can look at that by the 1% low FPSs on the MS Afterburner on the left corner of the screen. So, without too much more to talk about these updates, I will just let you enjoy the trip in case that you want to have kind of a slow video without music of me just driving around with cruise control of Switzerland. Uh, you are free to go. And you might be thinking, oh no, but it's getting nighttime, so all the landscapes will be just dark. Don't worry, I will stop um, on a service area and I will sleep and I will wake up with 6 a.m., which will enable you to just enjoy the landscapes by the end of the video. Also, I had an issue because I barely played this game, and I decided to start a new game like some years ago. And I don't have anything. All the trucks are very weak, and so I didn't remember anything, including sleep. So I had to cut a little bit the video and skip the sleep sequence because I took a lot of time to just encounter how the hell do I sleep in this game. Alright, so I think that's all. If you are curious about the trailer and the description that I just saw you on the browser, I will leave the links on the description of the video. So thank you a lot for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye.